It's one of TripAdvisor's top travel destinations. And here to get us out of town to Seattle is our travel expert, Marcia Frost. Marcia, welcome back.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too. Now I got to ask, why Seattle? Why all the hype around Seattle?
Because it's affordable. There's a lot to do there. And it's a jumping off point for the rest of Washington if you want. It's also the biggest cruise port for Alaska.
Really?
So a lot of people do that.
So if you're taking an Alaska cruise, maybe take an extended stop in Seattle.
And that's what I did. That's what I did recently. I've been to, it was my 4th time in Seattle. I've been there a few times before. It's also, the weather tends to run about 60, 70.
You know, with the heat that we're experiencing right now, I would be very happy with that.
Exactly.
That sounds lovely.
And, yeah, and it's being recognized by a lot of magazines, like you said, TripAdvisor, as they're about being just an all destination that has a lot of things for a lot of people.
Well, let's talk about that. What kinds of things are there to do there?
Well, you have the Space Needle.
Of course.
Of course.
Just the national iconic landmark.
It is. It's beautiful. It really is.
Did you get to go up to the top?
I did. I went to the top.
How was that view?
And they had the drop window, so you can take some pictures there.
Cool.
The view is really spectacular. It's really nice to go up there and see. They even have a bar up there and restaurants and coffee shops, so if you want to just kind of hang out
there. You can make a day of it up on top of Seattle.
But in Seattle Center, where their Space Needle is, you also have the Museum of Pop Culture, which I fell in love with. It's just
now, I'm looking at the pictures here. Are those what I think they are? Are those the Back to the Future hoverboards?
They have everything.
That is so cool.
They have everything. A lot of Harry Potter stuff, Star Wars, and then music. Music is a very big thing.
A lot of Pacific Northwest bands that have been very popular over the years.
Yes, a lot of Nirvana. They had a big Nirvana thing when I was there because they're from Seattle. But yeah, it's just really cool, and it's very interactive. A lot of everywhere you go, they play videos and music and tie it all in, and you could spend the day there too.
Now let's talk about if you're traveling on a budget. I understand they have a thing up there called the City Pass.
The City Pass is wonderful because it covers, you can choose 5 places to go. In my case, I did the Chihuly Gardens, which is and Glass, which is just gorgeous, and the Space Needle, and the Museum of Pop Culture, and the Seattle Museum. Aquarium, I'm sorry.
Is that the glass you were talking about there?
Yeah, it's
wow,
just
that is
beautiful.
gorgeous.
And it's right next door to the Space Needle, so you know you can.
Everything sounds really accessible.
Right. On the other side of town, you've got Pike Place Market, which is famous for the flying fish.
Did you get to see them throw the fish?
Yes, I did. I did see them float, but they have so much more there too. I mean, if you love seafood, you can find great food there. They have the original Starbucks there.
Nice.
Which always has a big line, and lots of small vendors with all sorts of things, selling everything from souvenirs to handmade jewelry. So that's kind of neat. The zoo and the Pacific Science Center are also included, as well as a cruise that you can choose from. You know, with the City Pass, so it's like $100.
So you buy this pass, $100, and you can do all of these things, and I'm sure you're just saving a ton of money on the normal admission prices.
Are like $50 a piece, which isn't unusual for museums and stuff these days. And yeah, it runs like $80 for children and $120 for adults. So yeah, that can keep you busy for 3-4 days.
Now we're almost out of time, but I am curious, where do you recommend people stay if they go to Seattle?
Well, I've stayed at a few hotels. The Hilton Madoff was the last place I was at, which is really cool, and right just 2 blocks from Pike Place Market. The Homewood Suites downtown is right near Seattle Center, so that's a good one too, and that's very family oriented. And I was at Hotel 1000 twice, and that's a little more upscale with a really nice restaurant and a spa.
Sometimes when you travel, you gotta splurge.
Oh yeah.
Sounds lovely. I need to go to Seattle. I've never been.
Yeah, you should.
If you want to check out Marcia's travel tips for Seattle and a lot of the other places that she's talked about recently, we're going to make sure to connect you over on our website at ciLiving.tv.